Hi everyone, are you ready to test your Serbian? One of the most common questions I get is how can I know what level I'm at? I completed an intermediate course, let's say a few years ago, but I lost contact with the language and now I'm not sure what level I am at the moment. That's why I decided to make this video where we will test your Serbian together. And here's how we are going to do that. I will give you 3 multiple choice questions for each level from A1 to C1, and you will get a chance to think about each sentence first before I give you a correct answer, and then I'll make sure you get some additional information and explanation. This way, you will not only have a chance to test what level fits you best, but also get explanations for things you may not have known. But before we start with our live placement test, did you know that you can do a full placement test on our website completely for free? The test will gradually take you from easier to more complex questions and then kick you out once you do not reach enough points for the next level. I will leave the link for the test below this video so you can try it out. And now we are ready to begin. We are starting with 3 questions for level A1. The first sentence is Ona, blank, profesorica. Ona je, ona ju, ona jesu. What's the correct answer here? The correct answer is ona je profesorica. So here we have the verb to be, or jesam in Serbian. This is the first verb you will learn because you will need it for basic communication, like saying what you do for work, as in this sentence, or simply introducing yourself to someone. So, how does this verb sound in Serbian? Ja sam, ti si, on, ona je, mi smo, vi ste, oni su. As you can see in the sentence, ona is the pronoun in the third person singular. So in this sentence, we need the verb je after the pronoun ona. You can follow the same pattern and say ja sam student. And this is also the formula you use when you want to introduce yourself. You say ja sam and then say your name. For example, ja sam Dragana. Next, we have this sentence. Ja živim u Japana, Japanom ili Japanu. What do you think is the correct answer here? Learning how to say where you live and talking about location is one of the first things we learn. In this sentence, we are practicing using one of the cases. The case we use to talk about a location is locative. And we often use the preposition u to speak about location. And if that location is a masculine noun, like in our example sentence, then that noun needs the ending u. So the correct answer is ja živim u Japanu. And following the same pattern, you can say ja živim u Beogradu, ti živiš u Londonu, mi živimo u Los Angelesu, and so on. And now the last sentence for this level. Da li ti učiš srpski? Ruski jezik. Srpski ili ruski jezik, srpski ali ruski jezik, or srpski a ruski jezik. So here we have connectors, and you need the connector that is equivalent to or in English. So the Serbian equivalent for the connector or in English is ili. Ali means but. For example, volim voće, ali ga ne jedem često. And connector a can mean both but and sometimes. So for example, we can say ona čita knjigu, a on radi na kompjuteru. You will definitely need these three connectors for a basic conversation in Serbian. So, how did you do? Are you ready for the next level, level A2? The first sentence for the A2 level is Sutra imam ispit. Da učim. Volimo da učim, trebaš da učim, or moram da učim. Sutra imam ispit, moram da učim. This is the correct answer. So here we have modal verbs, and this is something you need to learn in every language, and Serbian is no exception. So here are the basic modal verbs that will be useful for you. Morati, moći, hteti, želeti, trebati, voleti. Once you learn these verbs, you will be able to express your basic likes and dislikes, your wants and your needs. We use them by following this formula. So we have the modal verb plus the word da plus the main verb. For example, moram da učim. Notice how we add personal endings for both modal verb and the main verb. And in our example, that's the ending m or m for the first person singular. Okay, let's move on to the next sentence. On je moj najbolji prijatelj. Ne mogu da živim bez njega, bez on, or bez njih. What do you think? Yes, we have some pronouns here, but which one is correct? Ne mogu da živim bez njega. Why is this the correct answer? So, the basic form of the masculine personal pronoun is on, which we see in the first sentence. On je moj najbolji prijatelj. But why isn't on the correct choice for the second sentence as well, if we are still talking about the same person? Well, this is because of the word bez, which means without in English. Bez always requires genitive form besides it. That's why we cannot use the basic form in nominative on, but we need to use the genitive form njega. Bez njega. Now, the pronoun njih is also in genitive form, but that's the plural form. So that would be the correct answer if the first sentence was in plural. Oni su moji najbolji prijatelji, ne mogu da živim bez njih. And now the last example for this level. Mi volimo mirnog sela, mirnih sela, mirna sela. The correct answer is mi volimo mirna sela. So we use mirna sela with the ending a here because the modal verb voleti asks for the direct object, which is in the accusative form. Sela is the accusative plural form of the noun selo, and the adjective mirna agrees with the noun and follows its form. Let's see some other similar examples. Ja volim strašne filmove. Ona voli ljubavne romane. So here we also have nouns in accusative plural forms. But as you can see, the endings are e, not a, because these are masculine plural nouns, filmovi, romani, and not neuter ones like sela. If you enjoy our channel and find our videos helpful, please subscribe and support us in that way. Subscribing is one of the best ways to help our channel grow and make our videos more visible to others. It also gives us the motivation and positive energy to keep creating new content for you. Thank you so much for your support. Do you think you're ready for B1? Let's get back to pronouns. Ne zna gde je Marko. Neko ne zna, nešto ne zna, niko ne zna. What would you pick as the correct option in this sentence? The correct answer is niko ne zna gde je Marko. Now, these are not your regular pronouns. What we have here are two indefinite pronouns, and these are neko and nešto. And we have one negative pronoun, niko. So now that you know the meaning of these pronouns, the correct answer is logical, right? But did you maybe notice anything else in the Serbian sentence? Serbian language uses double negation here. When we use a negative pronoun, we must use a negative verb as well. Niko nije video, niko ne voli rat, and so on. In English, only the pronoun is negative. But in Serbian, you have to use both the negative pronoun and the negative verb. Okay, we are moving on to the next sentence for the B1 level. Ne mogu da ovaj projekat. Završavam, završavati, završim. They all look pretty much the same, right? Do all these forms exist in Serbian? Yes. But the only correct answer is the last one, završim. Ne mogu da završim ovaj projekat. So in the Serbian language, we have something called verbal aspect. Each verb basically appears in two forms, perfective and imperfective. The perfective form is for actions that are done, finished, and the imperfective form is for actions that are still in progress, the ongoing ones. So for this particular verb, we have these two forms, završiti and završavati. Završiti is a perfective verb, which means to finish something and be done with it. Završavati is an imperfective verb, meaning that we are in the process of getting something done, but we haven't done it yet, we haven't completed it. So in our sentence, ne mogu da završim ovaj projekat, we are saying that we cannot get the project done. So that means we need to use the verb that marks the action that is finished, and in this case, the verb is završim. Do you feel the challenge of the B1 level? Well, I have one more example for you. Ana I Jovan su na aerodromu. Njih putuju na konferenciju. Njih dve, njih dvoje, njih dvojica. So here we need a correct collective number. Since we have both a female, Anna, and a male person, Jovan, then the correct answer is dvoje. So while in English the answer here would simply be two, Serbian is a bit complicated, and the choice of the word can depend on the gender mix in the given group. For example, if it was two men in the group, we would use a number noun and say njih dvojica putuju na konferenciju. And if it was a man and a woman, a mixed gender group, like in our example, we would say njih dvoje putuju na konferenciju. And for two women only, we say njih dve putuju na konferenciju. This is a topic we cover in depth in our intermediate Serbian course, which features structured video lessons that build on one another and guide you toward a thorough and solid understanding of the Serbian language. In addition to the video lessons, the course includes hundreds of pages of self-study worksheets with answer keys and detailed explanations, listening materials, and interactive exercises designed to reinforce your learning. When you enroll in the intermediate course or any of our other self-study courses, you also gain access to free monthly conversation classes. These sessions give you the opportunity to practice speaking Serbian, build your confidence, and put your knowledge into action. I will leave the link for the intermediate course below this video so you can check it out. So the first sentence for the B2 level will test your knowledge of conditionals. Više vremena čitala bih svaki dan. Kada bih imala više vremena? Ako imam više vremena. Kada budem imala više vremena. To find the correct answer here, we need to figure out the meaning of the sentence. Is this a real situation, a hypothetical situation, or an unreal situation? And this would help us determine the type of conditional we need and the types of forms, verb forms and tenses that we need. In our example, the second part of the sentence will tell you exactly that. So let's take a look at it. The verb is čitala bih svaki dan. And if you're on a B2 level, you will know that this is a form called potencial. It tells us about our aspirations and wishes. This means that it represents hypothetical situations. Therefore, it needs another potential form to create a hypothetical future situation. So the correct answer here is kada bih imala više vremena, čitala bih svaki dan. This means that, unfortunately, I don't have more time for reading, but I wish I had. And moving on to the next sentence. Nikola I Sonja će se javiti kada na aerodrom. Kada bi stigli, kada budu stigli, or kada će stići. Nikola I Sonja će se javiti kada budu stigli na aerodrom. Since we already mentioned the future tense in Serbian, let's decipher it a little bit more for you in this example. So, Serbian language has two types of the future tense called future 1 and future 2. Future 1 is the classical real future that we use most often when we speak about the future. Ići ću, radit ću, ješt ću, and so on. Meanwhile, future 2 is a future action that will happen before another future action. And that's why we usually use it with ako or kad. Ako bude padala kiša, ostaću kod kuće. So the rain will fall before I decide to stay at home. Or i Nikola I Sonja će se javiti kada budu stigli na aerodrom. So first they will arrive, so that's why we use the verb in future 2, budu stigli, and then they will call us, javit će se. That's the verb in future 1. We can also use future 2 with čim, which means as soon as. Čim budem stigla kući, poslaću ti mail. The future 2 is basically the verb to be, budem, budeš, bude, budemo, budete, budu, plus the verb in the past tense with the endings for gender, o, la, lo, li, le, la. And the last question for this level will test your vocabulary. Blank, nemamo dovoljno sredstava, za sada ćemo odustati od konferencije. Mada nemamo, budući da nemamo, uprkos tome što nemamo. Now, mada means although. Budući da can be translated as since, and uprkos tome što is despite. So, the correct answer here for this sentence is budući da. Budući da nemamo dovoljno sredstava, za sad ćemo odustati od konferencije. But note that budući da is quite a formal connector, so we use it in formal, non-everyday contexts. Instead of budući da, in everyday situations, we would use pošto. Pošto nemamo dovoljno sredstava, za sad ćemo odustati od konferencije. And if you would want to use the other connectors in this example sentence, you can, but pay attention to the fact that the meaning of the sentence would change in this way. So we can say, uprkos tome što nemamo dovoljno sredstava, održat ćemo konferenciju. Or, održat ćemo konferenciju mada nemamo dovoljno sredstava. So the meaning here is that the conference will take place, and in our initial example sentence, the conference actually couldn't take place because of the lack of means, but in the other two examples, the conference will take place despite the lack of the means. Okay, are you ready for the ultimate test? Let's check out your knowledge at C1 level. The first sentence is utrčao je u kuću, plakajući, plakavši, plačući. So here we are looking at the correct form of the present participle. This is a Serbian version of the English ing form, which is used to describe an action happening at the same time as another action. In this sentence, we want to say that a person entered the house while he or she was crying. In Serbian, these verbs end in ci, and infinitive form for the verb to cry is plakati. But the correct form of the present participle here is plačući. So the last answer. Utrčao je u kuću plačući. So how did we come to this form that contains the sound ch from the infinitive that doesn't contain it? Present participle is built only out of imperfective verbs. So what you need to do is put the verb plakati, which is imperfective form of the verb to cry, in the present tense, in the third person plural, and then add the ending ci. So plakati, oni plaču, plačući. Let's do that with another verb. For example, pevati. Pevati, oni pevaju, pevajući. So it's not that hard, but it's definitely a native speaker level of knowledge. Next, we have an example with vocabulary. Nemam, kako su uspeli preko noći da postanu tako imućni. Nemam trag, nemam predstavu, nemam viziju. You can get into a trap here and think that the correct answer is trag, because trag means trace, and it ends up being similar to the English phrase I don't have a clue. However, in Serbian, I don't have a clue or I have no idea is nemam predstavu. Literally translated, this means I don't have any image or any vision about something. And finally, do you know this Serbian phrase? I tako se on opet potpuno neočekivano pojavio s neba pa na vrata, u rebra, na krov. What do you think is correct here? S neba pa u vrata, s neba pa u rebra, s neba pa na krov. If we want to describe that somebody appeared suddenly or unexpectedly. If you think about it, two of them maybe make sense, na vrata, na krov. But of course, it's none of these. We say s neba pa u rebra. This is a common phrase for expressing something that happened very abruptly or suddenly. We say that it appeared as if it hit our ribs, right? Rebra are ribs. And there you have it. Let us know in the comments how you did. Which level did you get? And if you are still not sure, don't forget to do the placement test on our website. Best of luck and talk to you next week. Ciao!